Hey friends, quick question for you. I know it's probably going to be an obvious one, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Have you ever been stuck on a problem and the longer you stare at it, the smaller your options feel? I mean, like there's a wall in front of you and the only move that comes to mind is to, keep pushing. Look, if you did, you're not imagining that. There is a reason your brain does it, and there's a reason it doesn't have to. In my video, Your Brain Can Be Rewired for Positivity, I've got the link above here and also in the description for you. I showed you something kind of wild, that this isn't just who you are. It's something you can build, and a lot of you, well, you ran with that. Thank you. I love that, very much. But one question kept showing up in the comments. It was like, okay, I'm rewiring, so what? What does that actually get me? I get it. So I'm going to answer that for you because I used to be a worrier myself, the kind who would lay awake at night running through everything that could go wrong. I mean, the what if spiral. What if I don't get the job? What if I get the job and then I get fired? What if that person just doesn't like me? I mean, you know the spiral, right? That was me. And that was me most nights, most days, all day long. And here's what I didn't realize back then. All that worrying was just exhausting me mentally. It was actually making me worse at solving the very things I was worried about. So here's what you're walking out of this video with. Two things, okay? Why a good headspace makes you sharper at solving problems today, and how those small good moments quietly stack into something that carries you through the days that try to take you down. And researchers have a name for it. It's called Broaden and Build. So let's start with Broaden. Here's the idea, and it comes from a researcher named Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, who spent her career studying positive emotions. What she found is that when you feel something good, curiosity, calm, even a little bit of joy, your mind, well, it widens. You notice more of what's around you, more options, more ways through things, connections you'd have walked right past. And the opposite is true as well. When you're stressed or scared, your focus narrows down to a pinpoint, which, by the way, is your brain doing its job. See, if there's a tiger in the room, you don't want to be admiring the curtains, okay? And that's the entire point. See, back when threats were actual predators, that narrow, locked-in focus is exactly what kept our ancestors alive. See, the problem is, though, that most of what stresses us nowadays, it's not a tiger, it's a deadline, a hard conversation, a blank page, and narrow tunnel vision focus is exactly the wrong tool for those, because those problems, well, they need options. They need creativity. They need you to see the entire room. Think of it like this. See, stress is a flashlight in a dark room. You see one small circle and everything outside it just disappears. It's dark. A good headspace, though, is flipping on the overhead headlights or overhead lights. Same room, same problem, but now you can see all of it, everything. And suddenly, well, there are doors you didn't know were even there. When you're stressed and stuck on something, notice what happens to your options. It gets narrower, doesn't it? See, that tunnel is real. And the good news is, well, you've got to switch for the lights. So here's your first tool. I call it the micro prime. Before you sit down to do something hard, difficult, a brainstorm, a tough email, a problem you've been avoiding, you spend 60 seconds putting yourself in a slightly better headspace first. And you do it on purpose, okay? And now you might be thinking 60 seconds of feeling good is going to help me crack a hard problem. But look, this one is one of the most studied effects in the whole field. Okay? People in a mildly positive mood solve creative problems noticeably better than people who are stressed or flat. So what do you actually do in those 60 seconds? Well, nothing big, okay? Watch one clip that makes you laugh. Look at a photo of someone you love. Step outside and feel the sun for a second. Text someone you're grateful for. Then go do the hard thing, okay? And no, you're not procrastinating if you do that first step. You're turning the lights on before you even walk into the room. Again, try it once and watch how different that hard thing begins to feel. Okay, so that's Broaden. That's the right now, but here's where it gets good, because those good moments don't just vanish when the mood passes, they leave something behind. Fredrickson's word for it is build. See, every time you're in that broad headspace, you're a little more likely to do the things that make your life sturdier. I mean, you reach out to someone and the relationship gets stronger. You try that one thing and you learn you can do it, or you stay calm and you can handle the next one better. And none of those feel like much in the moment, but they stack, my friend. Think of it like a savings account, but for your mind, okay? One good moment is a tiny deposit. It doesn't look like anything, but you keep making them, and one day, life hits hard and you reach into the account and there's something there. See, resilience you built without even noticing. And I want to say something to those of you who feel like, well, you're starting from zero, like everyone else has this down and you're behind for some reason. See, you don't have to be perfect. This isn't about good days every day. It's about small deposits made often, and that's it. Consistency beats intensity every single time. So what builds more long-term resilience? Is it one perfect, amazing day or one small good thing repeated daily? And I know you know the answer. It's the small thing repeated every day. And if that clicks for you, you already understand the entire game. So let's make this concrete for you. Now, here's your second tool. See, most people know about a gratitude list. You write 3 things down that you're thankful for. I mean, I do the same thing every day practically, and that's a good thing. But what I want to do is give you something with a little more torque. I call it the resource log. See, at the end of the day, you write down one thing, not what you're thankful for, but what you built. One thing you learned today, or one connection you made because, well, you were a little open instead of closed off. Maybe you asked a question instead of staying quiet today at work or at school, or maybe you tried something and now you know a little bit more about it, or maybe you reached out to someone you haven't talked to in a while or that you felt needed reaching out to. So you write that one thing down, and here's why it works, okay? You're not just feeling good, you're collecting evidence, proof in your own handwriting that the rewire is actually working, because your brain trusts evidence way more than it trusts a pep talk. Now, let's put this where it actually counts, okay? Because it's easy to nod along an agreement, but the real test is like a Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon when everything's on fire. Take a deadline. The clock's bearing down, okay? That tunnel slams shut and the story starts. You say something like, I'll never get this done. So here's the move. You don't need to force positivity. You just need one better question. Instead of, how do I finish all of this? You ask, what's my next step? Just the next one. You break that wall into bricks and pick up the easiest brick first, so to speak. Because basically momentum is a mood and you can manufacture that mood. Or take a conflict with a coworker or your boss or family member, whoever it is. When you're stuck in that narrow place, your brain wants to assign blame. Whose fault is this, okay? But the wider view asks a better question. What do we both actually want here? And watch what that one question does. It turns a standoff into a team. Same conflict, just a wider lens. And whatever you do, don't skip the small wins. You see, in a high-pressure stretch, your brain, well, conveniently forgets every single thing you've already done. So you've got to remind your brain, did you finish that email? Acknowledge it. Did you knock out that task? Mark it down. Because you see, these little wins aren't trophies. They're deposits, and every one of them drops a bit of momentum back into the account. So here's your challenge, and it's a small one on purpose, okay? Tonight, before you go to bed, open your notes and write down one thing you learned today or one person you might have connected with. And that's your first deposit in the resource log. And do this for about a week and then come back and tell me what shifts. And remember the 2 halves, okay? Broaden for today, the light's coming on so you can see what's right in front of you, and build for tomorrow. The quiet account you're filling for when you need it in the future. Now, what I want to do is hear from you. Where in your life are you stuck in tunnel vision right now? Hey, drop it in the comments and let's broaden it together. If this was useful, do me a favor and hit like. It genuinely helps the channel. And subscribe if you want more of this. Clearer thinking, better tools, and heck, no fluff. I want to thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Think sharper, stay sovereign,